Hello everyone, and welcome back. It's been a while, hasn't it? We were busy painting the wall, as you can see behind me. If you don't remember, it looked very ugly before. There were like 10 different shades of orange from the fade out, and then there were white drywall painted on there. It was just ugly, okay? But now, it's a nice gray, and I put the light on up there and it looks really nice. And also, I did put some acoustic panels up around me, so I'm not sure if it sounds better. I hope it does, because I spent a lot of money on them and I spent a lot of time putting them up, but if it doesn't, then whatever. It makes it look cooler, at least down here. Also, look at this. At the snap of a finger, look at that, you're watching Gintama now. And then another snap of the finger, look at that, it's me again. And then one more, boom. Isn't that the most amazing tech you've ever seen? No, I'm guessing it's not. Anyway, let's get into the review.
Alright, so today we are going to be reviewing the 7th arc Sorachi and Sunrise have gifted us. The parts of the story where I usually tell people who continuously spout those horrid words, when does it get good? To just drop the show already. You're 80 plus episodes in, and you still are wondering when it gets good. It clearly doesn't for you. Oh gosh. Alright, so this arc has 14 manga chapters and 6 anime episodes, meaning there's more than 2 hours worth of content to consider here. So, Kazutrash, humbly welcome you to my review of Gintama's legendary Yagyuu arc. The chaos this arc has to offer immediately begins as the Shinsengumi barge into Tai's cabaret club, pleading for her to finally accept Kondo's romantic requests. Turns out this sudden request was brought about because of planet Shoujo, a planet made up entirely of gorillas with a gorilla named Bubbles being their princess. Well, that's not entirely true. Matsudaira actually set Bubbles up with Kondo in consideration for his public single image, so the Shinsengumi desperately need Kondo to marry, and marry soon. Otai seems particularly happy for him now that the stalking will finally stop. I mean, can you really blame her? He kinda lives in her floorboards. So, as everyone is surrounding Tai and bothering her further and further, a brand new character makes their appearance. Yagyuu Kyubei, who has quite an intense introduction. In one fell swoop, 10 of the surrounding Shinsengumi are knocked down with the blunt edge of his blade, and with a thrust attack manages to even crack Hijikata's katana, which he later funnily mopes about since it was apparently a new sword. Very, very sad. Immediately, Tai recognizes them as the heir to the Yagyuu clan, and more importantly, as her friend from long ago. Finally cutting to the odd jobs now, they are doing some roof repair work for the local restaurant, where Kagura is seen hammering away at a piece of wood and clearly doing nothing. Actually, if anything, she's worsening the integrity of the roof. This actually gets me thinking about how many of the jobs the Yorozuya must do where Kagura just isn't helping in the slightest and just copies the other's movements and hopes she's doing it correctly. During lunchtime for our trio, we see the blandness of having no money settle in for Kagura, as she's crying over the likely convenience store grade red bean buns they've had for 3 days straight. Oh, yikes. Yikes, Gin. So, over the last few days, Shinpachi's sister has been arriving home late every night. So he's attempting to discern who she could be hanging out with. It's Kyubei, by the way. When he has an epiphany and screams out loud, "Kondo! Could it be Kondo?" Which is then followed by a wonderful pan down to Kondo and Matsudaira walking and talking about their meeting with Bubbles, which will happen very soon. I adore the long panning shot. Really gives you a sense of Kondo's intense anticipation of the beginning of the end for his life. Matsudaira manages to imbue a bit of hope into our desperate soul and lets him know she'll look 3 times better than in the photo. They eventually make it to the sliding door, open it up, And... I love the soundtrack here so much. Those deep hums being an audio equivalent of Kondo's dread setting in. Out of nervousness, he attempts to gesture he needs to go to the bathroom with an which in Gorilla apparently translates into, "Would you like to go for a walk in the garden?" Somehow. On their walk, something from above hits Bubbles and knocks her out, so Kondo looks up to see who it is, and what do you know, it's Gin's group, who continue to chaotically interrogate poor Kondo. Jeez, I'm still only on the first episode? Okay, we gotta speed things up. After that, though, the Oddjobs finish their work, and Shinpachi collects the money before stumbling upon Kyubei kissing Otai, seemingly by force. Shin pathetically attempts to beat Kyubei up for his actions, but nothing comes of it, so he instead interrogates Otai to find out why she isn't saying anything and just letting it happen. Here we see a very rare sight, Otai with tears in her eyes. She says farewell to a now crowded room packed with Bubbles, Gin, Kondo, Kagura, and of course Shinpachi, as Kyubei then carries her away. As Gin and Kagura are playing Go, Kagura says Koko once told her, "You can only smile at the start of a marriage. Sometimes you become a nasty hag, but if you smile at the end, you've lived a good life." And leaves Kagura with the question to Gin, "Do you think Otai can die smiling?" Oh god, Kagura, that's a little deep there. Oh man, not wanting to face the truth Kagura is spouting, he sits in his chair and looks away from her but realizes he needs to do something. A scene quite similar to his moment of apprehension during Umibozu, where he was going to leave Kagura to be taken away by her dad, until getting some sense knocked into him by Shin. Though here it's a lot less physical. Initially, Shinpachi and Kondo invade the dojo alone, but following closely behind is Gintoki, Kagura, Hijikata, and Sogo. As the four aces are indulging in lunch, Sorachi uses this time to introduce us to everyone. I appreciate how all the playful dialogue between these guys leads the audience to believe these people have lives outside of what we're seeing on screen. Like with their discussion about how Otai is gonna run away because the one they call Granny is far too strict and will scare her away, how Otai is Sui's type, everyone admonishing Kitaoji for using too much ketchup, the group making fun of Sui for apparently having a face that looks like a dick. I don't see it, but alright. Sukamu eating a kid's meal, and of course, Ayumu becoming pissed and yelling out in anger because Granny forgot to buy fresh eggs. Their playful banter lets us know they have to tolerate each other close to every day, which is a lot more than some shows manage to establish during an entire season's worth of time. Good stuff. Anyway, in another room of the mansion, Otaki demanded Otai eat this thing herself, and I really wish she did, but unfortunately our anti-hero Binboku Sai shows up at the exact moment and eats it himself, because somehow he thinks it's edible, still not sure how. Like, damn it, we were so close to getting Otai to taste her own food. That's like one of my least favorite tropes in anime, where they just have a character who's bad at cooking and no one shows her how to do it. That's why I hate Shion. I hate Shion and that whole, I mean, okay, I don't hate Shion. I'm talking about Slime. Shion from Slime. I don't hate her, but that trope is just so annoying and so unfunny in my opinion. Every time she's on screen, it's just, oh, don't taste her bad cooking. No one's gonna show her how to cook. Come on, man. That does make me wonder, is there any episode where Otai actually does taste her own food? Because that would be great. Now, just before the Yagyuu clan's game commences, like with the aces, the allies also have some very hilarious banter between the group. A group we don't usually see working on the same team. They split up, and the plate-destroying game begins. Kagura and Sogo against Sukamu and Sui was hilarious, and Hijikata's duel with Kitaoji was also super fun. A lot more serious though. Hell, we even received a great backstory for Hijikata, and by extension Kondo and Sogo during it. But now, my friends, is the greatest moment in all of fiction. A moment so unbelievably chaotic, so ridiculous, so astronomically hilarious, and so masterfully planned, we have the bathroom scene. Yeah, you could probably tell, but I love this scene. Might have been a little bit of hyperbole when I was explaining it, but a large part of that is still true. It's damn hilarious, man. It's definitely the best comedy moment Gintama has shown us so far. From the kaiji-style mind duels going on to the absurd coincidence of Binbokusai just so happening to have a piece of sandpaper on him. Oh, it's perfect. In any case, the four do eventually leave the bathroom, with Kondo and Ayumu simultaneously taking each other out. And the remaining two begin an intense duel, seemingly on even keel with the White Yaksha himself. Binbokusai duels it out with Gintoki Sakata. This is an insane feat I never would have expected Binbo to be capable of, but he has shown himself capable. During their duel, they make their way to where Shin and Kyubei are fighting, and over the course of their fights, they discover Kyubei is actually a woman, but a man at heart. It's really cool to see Gintama going in this direction. Now, obviously this didn't go how things usually go. Kyubei was raised as a boy despite genetically being a girl to become the next heir to the Yagyuu clan. While Kyubei's female existence was suppressed by her parents and guardians, Q is often seen during the show with many feminine characteristics to coexist with their male side. It's a viewpoint completely dependent on the choice of the character and the way they choose to live their life. Kyubei has to come to terms that they are neither female nor male, not exactly trans, and not gay or lesbian either, but simply Kyubei Yagyuu. That is who Kyubei is, not defined by any labels, and just their own person. This final fight, though, is amazing. The soundtracks were used masterfully, and the animation is top notch. I love this final fight. The anime doesn't let you miss that these Yagyuu members, this Yagyuu clan, isn't to be taken lightly. This is a clan that is known for their swordsmanship, and the anime makes sure you know that. The Yorozuya just barely wins this fight by the skin of their teeth, and that victory was incredible. Later, once things settled down, a bandaged up Hichikata and Otai discuss things. Otai says, "I'm sorry for what's happened. I did a selfish thing and caused trouble for everyone else. I did those things with half-hearted feelings and wasn't able to go through with it in the end. What I did didn't help anyone." To which Hijikata replies, "There are people you can save and others you can't, no matter how hard you try. Is the way you live your life so fragile that you break just because of that? Right now, if there was someone you could save with that half-hearted sort of kindness you just talked about, what would you do?" Which leads us into the grand finale for this arc, which, not sure if you forgot, but our boy Kondo still has a wedding he must attend. We finish the arc in complete and utter chaos in classic Gintama fashion, and Kondo's gorilla wedding is put to an end by none other than Otai herself. In this chaos-filled room, the viewer experiences this amazing dopamine high as the camera gives everyone a painting freeze frame, the final one being Otai, truly smiling and appreciating her situation once again. The end. So, yeah, that's the Yagyuu arc. I love this arc. Everything about it was just so damn good. I'm trying to think of the bad points right now, but nothing is really coming to my head. Hey everyone, Editing Kev here. I just thought of a criticism. I just thought of something I really wasn't having a good time on during this arc. It was the Hichikata fight. While it was still good, it was fine, but at some points during the fight, it was definitely not paced the best. They would slash swords a few times and then they just talk to each other for like a minute or even 2 minutes, and then they'd do one more slash and then talk to each other again, and it just felt very, very off. I think the Yagyuu arc deserves a nice and solid 9.5 out of 10. I think it deserves that. I think it truly is the best arc we've seen up to this point, and it's one of the best pre-time skip, no, what am I saying? Not pre-time skip, I meant to say pre-16:9 aspect ratio arcs, and with every subsequent arc recently, it seems to have been following a pattern of getting better and better. First the Fuyo, now the Yagyuu. The next will be even better. Maybe it'll even be a 10. No. No, that's a lie. The next arc will be the hard-boiled detective arc. And if you know anything about that arc, then, well, I'll just let you come to your own conclusions on that one. I have been Kazutrash, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!